Have you ever felt that little shiver, that kind of weird feeling scrolling through your social media feed?
Oh, yeah.
Like those targeted ads that just know exactly what you were thinking about. Or maybe a news story pops up that feels, I don't know, eerily prescient?
Like it's reading your mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is it just coincidence, or is it something, well, something deeper, where our data isn't just being collected, but it feels like it's being, I don't know, weaponized? Today on The Deep Dive, that's really our mission. We want to unpack that feeling. We're going to trace the evolution of surveillance
Right.
from its philosophical roots, actually way back in the 18th century, all the way to these shimmering screens that, pretty much dominate our lives now.
Yeah.
We'll explore how we got here and maybe what it means for our freedom.
And we've pulled together quite a stack of sources for this, some foundational philosophy, some really cutting-edge analysis of the digital economy. The goal is really to give you a quick but hopefully thorough understanding of how your data has become this powerful commodity and the kind of subtle power it wields over you.
Okay, let's unpack this. So to understand our digital world today, we're actually going to start, maybe surprisingly, in the late 18th century.
Right. Not with computers.
No, not with algorithms, but with architecture. Think about the philosopher Jeremy Bentham, utilitarian guy. He had this, radical idea for prison design.
The panopticon.
Picture this. A circular building, right? Central observation tower, and then all of the cells arranged around it.
Okay.
But here's the chilling part, the really clever bit. Prisoners could be observed at any moment by guards they couldn't see. They never knew when they were actually being watched.
And that's the absolute core of it, isn't it? The genius of the design. It wasn't just, constant actual watching. It was the perception of it, the possibility.
The uncertainty.
Exactly. So the prisoners, because they were never sure, they started to internalize that gaze. They began to, self-police their own behavior.
Just in case?
Just in case someone might be watching, hoping to avoid punishment. So the surveillance kind of became part of their own thinking.
It's pretty amazing how a physical design could be so prophetic, really. And then, fast forward to the 20th century, Michel Foucault, the French philosopher, he picks up on Bentham's work.
He really does.
And he takes this idea of invisible control and applies it much more broadly, right? To society as a whole. How did he expand on it?
Yeah, in his big work, Discipline and Punish, Foucault looked at the panopticon and said, look, this isn't just about prisons. This is a powerful metaphor for how power works everywhere. He argued that power isn't just, imposed from the top down like a king ordering people around.
Right.
It's internalized through this constant feeling of being observed or even just the fear of being watched.
So we do it to ourselves.
Pretty much. It creates this system of self-regulation. Foucault had that famous line, something like, the individual becomes the principle of his own subjection. You basically become your own guard, right? Conforming to norms, not because someone's standing there with a stick, but because you believe you're constantly being judged or evaluated.
Yeah, so, okay. If the panopticon was the blueprint for that kind of invisible control within physical walls, what happens when you take away the walls?
Wow.
And apply those same ideas to our digital screens, these things we carry around all the time.
Yeah.
How's that concept evolved?
It's evolved massively. And the key really is data.
Data.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Every single click you make, every like, every search query, every online purchase, it all leaves this digital footprint.
Trails everywhere.
Exactly. And this data, which maybe started as just a byproduct, just exhaust from using the internet,
Right.
it has literally become the currency of the 21st century.
Right.
It's incredibly valuable.
And it really is everywhere, isn't it? I mean, just think about how many times a day you, the listener, check social media or search for something online.
Constantly.
Each little interaction, every tiny piece of data, it adds up. It contributes to this incredibly detailed, constantly updated profile about you. Your preferences, your habits, maybe even your desires.
Yeah.
And this profile, it's not just sitting in a vault somewhere. It's active. It's being used to target you with very specific advertising, to shape what you see in your news feeds.
And even to predict what you might do next.
Which brings us to this really groundbreaking concept from Harvard professor Shoshana Zuboff, surveillance capitalism.
Yeah.
Crucial work.
So she's not just saying tech companies are using our data, right? She's saying they've built an entirely new kind of economic system around it. Can you kind of break down what she means?
Yeah, absolutely. Zuboff's argument is that these tech giants, Google, Facebook, and others, They aren't really in the business of providing free services. That's not the main game.
Okay.
They're actually in the business of extraction and control. She defines surveillance capitalism with like 3 core pillars.
Right.
First, it's the unilateral claiming of private human experience as free raw material. Basically, taking your life online without really asking.
Okay, step 1, grab the data.
It's step 2, monetizing these behavioral data through the creation of behavioral prediction products. So they turn your data into products that predict what you'll do.
Got it. Predict the future.
And step 3, the modification of human behavior through the delivery of these behavioral prediction products, using those predictions to actually nudge you to change your behavior for their profit.
Wow. So it's not just watching, it's shaping.
Exactly. In essence, your online life isn't just yours anymore. It's become a commodity. It's bought, it's sold, it's manipulated by these incredibly powerful corporations. They've effectively taken the old panopticon idea.
The invisible gaze.
Yeah, the invisible gaze leading to self-regulation, but they've repurposed it, not just for social control, but for massive economic gain.
That's a really stark picture. And to make it maybe even clearer, imagine this. Every time you went for a walk outside, someone followed you with a clipboard, taking notes on everything.
Yeah.
Where you went, what shops you looked in, who you talked to, maybe what you bought.
Right. Creepy.
Super creepy. And then they take all that info and sell it to strangers. And those strangers use it to predict where you'll go next, what you'll buy next, and maybe even try to influence those choices.
Yeah.
That sounds like some kind of, dystopian movie plot.
But it's not.
But Zuboff is saying, well, that's basically the internet. It leads to this kind of tough truth.
Yeah.
You're not just the customer being sold to.
No.
You, or rather your attention and your predicted behavior, you are the product being sold.
That's the core of
Your
it.
digital life, your preferences, your moods, maybe even your fears, all packaged up into these behavioral profiles, auctioned off.
To advertisers' political campaign.
Insurers, even.
Yeah.
And the whole time, the bait that keeps us participating is convenience, free services, connection.
And what's fascinating here, connecting back to Bentham and Foucault, is just how seamlessly these companies managed it.
Yeah.
They repurposed those old disciplinary mechanisms, that panopticon principle, shifting it from, state control or social control to a system driven purely by profit. It's the same idea. Invisible observation leading to behavioral modification. But the scale now, fueled by economics, is just entirely different.
And that scale is hard to even wrap your head around. Our social media feeds, for example, you could say they are the modern panopticons.
Good analogy.
They're explicitly designed, aren't they, to capture your attention, keep you scrolling, keep you engaged.
Maximize time on site.
And in doing so, collect the maximum amount of data about you, often without you even consciously thinking about it.
And the numbers, when you look at them, are just wild. This isn't some small side operation. It's industrial scale surveillance. It powers a huge chunk of the global economy.
Give us some numbers.
Okay, well, consider this. In 2023, the global digital ad market, nearly $680 billion.
Billion, with a B.
Billion with a B. And it's projected to cross $870 billion by 2026. And that money, fundamentally, comes from selling access to you.
Wow.
Think about your phone. The average smartphone has, 60 to 90 apps installed? Studies show over half of popular apps share your data with third parties.
So it's leaking everywhere.
Pretty much. Google alone processes over 8.5 billion searches every single day.
Each one feeding the profile.
Each one adding another data point. Facebook is believed to hold maybe over 2,000 data points on every user.
2,000.
And looking ahead, by 2030, the world is expected to generate something like 463 exabytes of data per day.
Exabytes. I don't even know what that means. How big is that?
It's 463 billion gigabytes per day.
That's just unimaginable.
It really is. And all this data, it fuels an economy built entirely on prediction. The better these companies can predict your behavior, what you'll click, what you'll buy, what you'll watch,
The more money they make.
the more money they make. And this leads to something we could call maybe soft control.
Soft control. What do you mean?
Well, the algorithms curate your feeds, right? They decide what you see. And often they prioritize stuff that gets a reaction, emotionally charged content.
Yeah, you notice that. Outrage gets clicks.
Exactly. And this can create these filter bubbles or echo chambers we hear about. They reinforce what you already believe and limit your exposure to different views.
So you get stuck in your own world.
Sort of. And this constant stream of information, personalized just for you, it subtly shapes how you see the world. And in turn, it shapes your behavior. It's soft because it doesn't feel like force.
Right. You feel like you're just browsing, making free choices?
Making free choices, exactly, but you're actually being gently, constantly nudged towards certain outcomes, certain products, certain viewpoints, certain actions.
If we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
this isn't just occasional, is it?
No, it's constant. It's happening on a scale that was literally unimaginable before digital technology. And it goes way beyond just showing you ads for shoes you looked at. It's potentially influencing everything from, what you buy to how you vote, maybe even how you think about yourself and the world.
Okay, so if this is happening, all this data collection and shaping,
Yeah.
what about consent? We all click those boxes.
Ah, yes, consent.
They accept cookies, agree to terms and conditions. They pop up everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
let's be honest. Who here is actually reading 50 pages of dense legalese just to check the weather forecast or look at a pair of jeans online?
Almost nobody. That's the point.
Is that really meaningful consent, or is it something else?
Well, many critics call it checkbox consent, or maybe consent fatigue wrapped in a user interface.
Fatigue wrapped in a user interface. I like that.
It's designed that way, isn't it? Companies rely on us being overwhelmed or distracted or just too busy or tired to actually read it and understand what we're agreeing to.
So it feels almost impossible to genuinely opt out or give informed consent.
It's incredibly difficult, which raises this important question lots of people ask, so what? I don't care. I've got nothing to hide.
Right. The nothing to hide argument. You hear that a lot.
You do. But privacy fundamentally isn't just about hiding bad things.
It's more than that.
It's about agency. It's about the right to move through the world, digitally and physically, without being constantly tracked, analyzed, predicted, shaped, and ultimately sold.
Agency. The right to make your own choices freely.
Exactly. The freedom to make choices without these invisible commercial forces constantly nudging you. The space to develop your own thoughts without algorithms feeding you only what they think you want to see.
That makes sense. And it highlights that surveillance capitalism isn't just some abstract tech issue for nerds to worry about.
Not at all.
It's a societal issue. It has real-world implications for everyone.
Absolutely. It affects how you shop, yes, but also potentially how you vote, how you learn, how you connect with other people, maybe even how you think about yourself.
It shapes public conversations. It can reinforce existing biases in society.
And it can subtly manipulate your sense of self, what you desire, what you fear. And here's a critical point. Once that data about you is out there, collected, aggregated, sold, you generally don't get it back.
It's gone. You can't unring that bell.
Pretty much. Our autonomy, our ability to act freely and authentically is under constant, subtle pressure. We are being shaped, whether we realize it or not.
Which definitely raises an important question. How on earth do we navigate this? Can we reclaim any of that digital agency?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds pretty bleak. But it's not all doom and gloom, right? There must be some good news here.
There is. Look, completely opting out of the digital world today is, well, it's incredibly difficult, maybe impossible for most people.
Yeah, you kind of need it for work, for life.
Exactly. But the more we understand how this system actually works, the mechanics of surveillance capitalism we've been talking about, the more power we actually have to push back.
So knowledge is power.
Knowledge is definitely power in this situation.
Okay.
Understanding the game helps you decide how you want to play it. And our sources do highlight several, mindful, practical steps you can take. Small things, maybe, but they add up.
Like what?
Well, simply being more mindful of the data you're sharing online, thinking twice before you post or click.
Being more critical consumers of information?
Yes, being critical of the information that's fed to you, questioning why you're seeing certain things, and supporting initiatives, companies, or policies that actually promote data privacy and digital rights.
Okay.
The basic principle is pretty simple, actually. The less data you create and give away.
The less fuel for the machine.
Exactly. The less power surveillance capitalism has over you.
And if you're looking for, like, a really simple, low-effort way to just cut down on that constant tracking sometimes, when you need to break from it all.
Yeah.
Consider this. Storing your phone in a Faraday sleeve when you're not actively using it.
A Faraday sleeve? Like for spies?
Huh? Well, maybe. But it sounds almost too easy, doesn't it?
It does sound simple. How effective is it, really? It's actually surprisingly effective for its simplicity. A Faraday sleeve or pouch is basically just lined with material that blocks signals.
Like radio signals.
Exactly. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, cellular signals. If the phone can't send or receive signals,
No connection.
no connection means no tracking, no location pings being sent off, no passive data leaks happening in the background while it's just sitting there, no background surveillance.
So it's like a physical off switch for the tracking.
Pretty much. It's a straightforward way to give yourself a break from that constant digital gaze we've been talking about. Literally cutting the cord temporarily on data transmission when you choose to.
Okay, that's a practical tip.
Mm-hmm.
So wow, what a deep dive this has been.
It really covers a lot of ground.
We've journeyed from Bentham and Foucault, these philosophical ideas about the panopticon and invisible surveillance,
Foundations.
through Shoshana Zuboff's really critical concept of surveillance capitalism, this whole new economic model,
Yeah.
all the way to the just astonishing scale of data collection today and thinking about its impact, the impact on our autonomy or choices.
It is a lot to take in.
It really is.
And maybe this brings us to a final crucial thought for you, the listener, to just sort of ponder.
Okay.
As our sources really emphasize, this isn't just about technology. They argue that the fight for digital autonomy is a fight for the future of freedom itself.
That's a powerful statement.
It is. So the question to reflect on is this. If your choices, your preferences, even your emotions can be predicted and then subtly influenced at an industrial scale, how truly free are you? Knowing what you now know about this algorithmic gaze, this system of prediction and control, what aspects of your own digital life might you choose to maybe examine more closely? Or perhaps choose to reclaim for yourself?